Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Two Thumbs Up podcast. As you guys can see, Ducky is looking a little bit different today. We're actually joined by a brand new co-host. Ducky is in Europe, I think. He might not actually be all that far from you. I don't know where he's backpacking, but today we are joined by Sonho, and he is going to be our guest host for today's episode of the podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's my first time here. Really excited, looking forward. Hopefully I can do somewhat a similar job to Ducky. He's really good at this, obviously. So hopefully I can not stay too far away from that level. And yeah, thanks so much for having me, Bobby.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
Not really, no. I would say this is like a first time, you know what I mean? Like, usually I had like little small questions interviews, but this is like a proper one, so exciting.
All right. Well, obviously you've been up to big things recently. You played a few different games. I think like a lot of people, you especially are kind of looking toward the next big thing. Apex didn't exactly pan out. You had your 24-hour stream recently, or no, not 24-hour stream. What am I saying? Non-stop stream until you reached 100,000 subscribers. Can you give us maybe what was your biggest highlight of that stream outside of actually hitting 100,000 subscribers?
Biggest highlight? I feel like most memorable thing is obviously physical stuff. Is I was really scared and nervous to sleep on stream because like I thought people would leave, but no, like there's always like 100 people just watching you sleep, and I wake up and everybody's like, all right, what was that position, son? And what was this? Like, why are you judging me? That's the way I want to sleep. So that was one of the highlights that is still in my head, like why people like that, you know, asking me weird sleeping questions. But other than that, the next highlight I think is just how fast like it all happened. You know what I mean? Like 8,000.
Did it really feel fast, or like did it feel fast relative to how you thought it would?
I think it felt fast to me, my friends, my subscribers, because I planned, when I said in the intro of my stream, I was going to say that we're going to be here for a month or two. So I was like ready to, you know, I was stacked and ready to just sit here for that, you know, 60-day period if it was meant to be like that, you know what I mean? But I think just the time, it passed by so fast. Like everybody was supporting, everybody in mobile came together, you know? So that's also like a big highlight for me to have everybody's support, you know, the subscribers, everybody sharing, all the big YouTubers like you, all included, mobile different titles like PUBG Mobile. I don't know, it's just crazy to have everybody around into like one big stream. So I think it was really successful in my opinion. So
I would agree. I was very annoyed by how fast the last 1,000 happened because I wanted to be there to get everybody to troll you, and then I turned on the stream and you had already passed it. I was like, well,
I know. Like,
so much for that game plan, but you know,
I know.
It's I'll say I was pretty impressed by how fast you reached it because. Especially, I would say for COD Mobile, gaining 1,000 subscribers a day is not an easy thing at all. So it's definitely an impressive feat. And do you have any more plans to do something like that in the future?
Yes, I'm going to be doing a 1 month long stream without any goals. I'll just do it for like 30 days straight on the launch of Warzone Mobile. And I think...
Are you just going to play Warzone Mobile the entire time?
Yeah, just Warzone Mobile. Like, because I thought, right, going into this stream, COD Mobile, I planned it. I had like 100 games, a list of all the things I want to play. And I thought like I'm going to be playing one day COD Mobile and PUBG Mobile, and I would get bored. But because I was playing with like subscribers, making customs, and I had, you know, different YouTubers coming in, meeting everybody, meeting new people, new faces, COD Mobile felt like realistically to me, it didn't feel more than a day. So I really kind of like let time pass by having fun. So I feel like I can kind of replicate that in Warzone because, you know, it's going to be a brand new game, new experience. I'll be able to learn new things, and the hype is going to be there. So that'll obviously motivate me to keep on going. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, a month when Warzone comes out, and then we're going to do one more long stream for COD Mobile before Warzone comes out. I'm still thinking of what like the challenge should be, like the goal, you know what I mean? Because with these you should always like have a goal. Otherwise I'll just do it and I'll just probably, you know, give up in a day or something if there's no end goal. So that's that.
All right. Well, best of luck to you on that one. I don't know how you do that. If I spend that long inside of a house, I would literally go insane. Are you gonna move like weights into your room and do workout streams? Because if you spend 30 days in your room, you're gonna go insane.
Yes. It's just like planning into this whole stream of where I said I was going to do a month or two. I said I'm going to do IRL streams. I'm going to go gym. I'm gonna do it all on on stream, you know. But it's just happened so fast. I didn't even think about it at all. But 100%, that's what I'm gonna be doing when I'm doing that long stream. I don't think I'm gonna do it for like regularly because I'm trying to get as much hype as possible within game or like the Warzone game. But I'll definitely include some IRL moments where I'll walk maybe to the gym, a little 1 hour, 2 hour session. So yeah, stuff like that. So I'm actually surprised you mentioned that because that was definitely like in the plans. I'll probably do it by now if I was still streaming, but it's done. So that's that.
All right. Well, moving into other mobile game things, there have been a lot of smaller mobile games that have come out with titles. There's one. What's the one that came out recently that's like Tarkov but for mobile?
Arena Breakout.
Arena Breakout. Have you tried that?
Yes, I've tried it. I've actually recorded it with Ferg, Ken Strafes, and Kaislo, and I would like to say that we had fun, and it was really, really like something new for mobile. Obviously, experiencing a survival mode with your friends is always going to be, an experience and an adventure. But I think there's definitely like a few things that need to be updated because, like me and you, we play COD Mobile. We're always on action. It's so fast. And then Apex came out. It was also fast. And then Tarkov came out, and it's all of a sudden so slow. So it's kind of like a getting used to type of game. So I'm definitely looking forward to it because I know the game will obviously make more and more improvements as we go. So that's definitely one of the biggest titles that I think will be coming out for that genre of survival. And I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to have a lot of what Rainbow Six is seeing as well in understanding that the base gameplay pace for what their game usually is not necessarily going to cater to the mobile audience quite as well, just because they have such short attention spans and they don't want to play like super long drawn out games. Because Arena Breakout, like the graphics look absolutely phenomenal. I haven't seen a whole lot for the gunplay or whatever content they're playing for it, but the game itself looks really good.
Yeah.
But I think that's one thing that a lot of newer mobile games are having to realize is you can't just like copy and paste a game from PC and assume that it's going to work, because the way that mobile gamers view these games is so much different from the PC audience.
100%. That's one thing about Arena Breakout that stands out is that everything, because I played it and I tried it out, like the guns are kind of like one tap, and when you heal, put a medkit, it generally takes as long as it takes to put a medkit in real life. So I think that what it did is try and adapt like the IRL experience into mobile. So that's why it's like so slow paced. That's why I run out of stamina really fast. That's why, eating takes so long as well. So it just genuinely feels like you're in a game.
Eating takes a long time?
Yes, like there's so many different types of food, like cans and stuff. So you're generally drinking it and waiting for him to open a can and then close it, throw it away. Like generally, it is an experience. So I'm excited for that game because I think it's going to get better and better with new updates. And global launch is actually next week. So yeah, that's exciting.
All right, there's a lot of other smaller games coming out. Project Bloodstrike is apparently not dead. Apparently, it actually is coming back, and that was like a fake announcement. We have, Farlight 84? Far Cry 84? Something 84?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Out of all the new games that are coming out from smaller studios, especially in the near future, which one are you most excited for?
Yeah, like I'm glad you mentioned Farlight because I just found out about that game yesterday, and like when I look at it, I don't know what it reminds me of. I don't know if it's like Fortnite or Cyberpunk. I mean, no, Cyber Hunter, yeah, on mobile. So it's just like I can't get my head around it what the game looks like, but it gives me some kind of OG vibes. I don't know what it is, because I obviously used to play all these games back in the day. That was like 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? So
yep,
definitely like a little throwback, but it is obviously a small game. And I just don't know how it's going to turn out. You know what I mean? Like, as a creator, we always like have to look forward towards like the new things coming out, and is it going to do good? Is it bad? Stuff like that. And I'm really excited to try new games as always, but there's always that little worry and decide, will the game last that long for me to keep on going with content, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Are
there any other small games that you have tried that you're excited for?
Well, this is strange because like before COD Mobile and Apex, I guess I did Dead by Daylight, and that game I would think it was like a massive game in a horror franchise and stuff, and I would like to assume that I did really well for that game, but apparently I played it for 1 year straight, and throughout that time I thought global launch was out, but that was the beta stage the whole time, and then they just yes, so that was like the biggest shocking moment in my head, that I was playing a beta game the whole year, and only now NetEase bought the game from that company that I used to own it.
NetEase bought it?
Yes, because like the same thing happened with Apex. You know how they shut down and stuff. You know, I don't know what happened, and NetEase just came, you know, and swept it away. So yeah, and now the game's coming out on global soon. So I'm just like, oh, I don't know, man. It's just a bit confusing with all these games now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think
that's really weird that was in beta, because I did a sponsored video for Dead by Daylight like more than a year and a half ago. I'm pretty sure it was almost 2 years ago at this point.
2 years, 100%. Easily 2.5 years, maybe 3 years, because I played it since like it was literally a CBT. Like it was terrible. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe NetEase took over, so they just pretty much reset the whole timeline where it's like beta, soft launch. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what happened. Yeah. But yeah, just confusing. But I would like to assume that's not a a big game or a small game. It's just like something that's coming soon that you just don't know where it's going to be due to its past. You know what I mean? So
yep,
we'll see.
Well, speaking about games whose pasts are unpredictable, I'm sure you've seen everything that's happening with Apex Mobile Season 4. Obviously, Apex was kind of the game that you were looking to. A lot of content creators were looking to as like the future of their channels, and it didn't quite live up to expectations. Number one, obviously, Apex has been, at least according to EA, canceled, going to be shutting down May 1st.
Yes.
What do you think would have to happen for them to change their minds about that?
Well, Season 4 just came out, and I think that's a very important thing that just happened in this timeline, because if as many people as possible maybe spend as much money as possible, the revenue will go up. But it kind of makes
you can't buy anything, can you?
Oh, well, if you can't buy anything, then I don't know. Like, I think you can, because I asked Ken Stripes, did you buy the new Halo? He said, yes, I bought it. Like, EA didn't give it to me. So I don't really know what's happening with all that stuff. You're getting a free battle pass. I know that. But yeah, maybe if the revenue goes up, maybe if the viewership goes up. We already started the movement on Twitter where, hashtag save Apex Mobile. So if that goes, kind of semi-viral, then maybe they'll reconsider it. I still don't... I couldn't even process it, because I was streaming when that stuff happened, and I just didn't really process it. I stopped streaming. A few days passed by, and I seen that with my own eyes on my own time, and just kind of didn't hit the spot. You know what I mean? It kind of feels a bit sad now, but yeah, maybe the game just needs to make it big. But once again, what do you think are the mistakes, or what do you think they have to do? You know what I mean?
I think for it to not get shut down, I think it would really be on EA, and it would all come down to the numbers. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any amount, because it would have to be I don't think it could just be petitions or Twitter posts or whatever it is. I think it would have to be actual people playing the game. Mm-hmm. And I think that the thing that was weirdest to me, I don't understand why you would put out the content after you've announced that the game is shutting down. Why wouldn't you just go ahead? Because even from a greed standpoint, if you already got all the content made, put it out, let people buy it, and then announce that the game's shutting down a month later than you were planning to. It's just so bizarre to me that they postponed that update, announced that the game's shutting down, and then they came out with the update. I don't understand why they wouldn't have flipped the order of that.
Yeah.
It's just the most EA thing of all time, but I don't even know at this point. I think if the game really blew up as far as overall player base, there's a chance, but I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot by canceling the game before people can even try the update that supposedly was supposed to save the game or whatever.
Mm-hmm. 100% I agree. I think the timeline of all this was a bit odd, strange, but they did announce that it's going away. However, there's because China is so ahead of us, they've probably seen this announcement a week ago. We don't know, but they're obviously ahead of us, and they have been making announcements on their Chinese official Discord servers that there is talks now, because they've seen the hype and stuff on how people are actually complaining they don't want it to go. So there is genuine actual negotiations from official standpoint of view where they are reconsidering things. There is a small chance, but officially we know it's going away. But you never know what might happen. But I agree 100%. The timeline, it's just so odd. They just released the biggest patch that they could potentially ever do. New map, new legend, exclusive stuff. Everybody's happy, insane in-game updates. So it's just strange to me. What's going on? Are they just rushing to just get everything out and just leave the game, pack the bags, and go on a holiday? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like part of it was probably like layoffs, because that's happening to like every major tech corporation. That's something we talked about in the last episode. Like probably had to lay people off, but once again, I just don't get the order of it, because even if all you want to, like, if you don't, and maybe some of it is because Lightspeed charges crazy development fees or whatever, and they're losing money on that aspect. But it's just overall a very confusing order of operations that to drop the update. And maybe it's to say thank you, but that just doesn't seem like an EA thing to do. Like, they're not a very sentimental company. They don't really care all that much about what their player base thinks, at least from my experience in past video games. So yeah, it's confusing, but it's definitely been it's been entertaining along the way for sure.
I agree. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens in a few weeks or whenever it shuts down, but we'll see, man. I kind of have faith in me that something will come out of it, something good. I just don't know. I don't want to have high hopes. You know what I mean? Like I had when I thought this game was going to do insane. So I had high hopes for it to live long. Now I have high hopes for it to not even die. So it's just crazy to think it kind of switched. So that's that.
All right. We got high hopes for another game, a game that you said you are going to be streaming for 30 days straight whenever it drops. Warzone Mobile. It seems like for right now, maybe, especially for 2023, the hope for mobile gaming.
Yes.
Number one, when are you predicting Warzone Mobile is going to drop?
When am I predicting? I have a feeling it's going to be like really early summer. I feel like that could be reasonable because we're still limited time release, soft launch. I don't really know what that means, but you know, just judging off the previous games timelines, it takes a few months. So I'm going to assume like March, maybe end of March, early June, you know, going forward from there, really. I think that's kind of a reasonable one. Start of summer, you know what I mean? So people can play it on holidays. I don't know. So,
all right. What's the number one thing you're most excited for in Warzone Mobile?
Oh, most excited thing that, you know, I'm obviously excited to just be part of it because it's going to be, I think I would like to assume it's going to be a very successful game. COD has a big franchise, so it kind of promises people to, you know, play the game, and it makes me look forward to it, you know what I mean? Because one thing I regret about COD Mobile is that when we all played Rules of Survival, everybody was in the same boat. We're going to COD Mobile together. We're going to make it big together. Everybody did. And I was the only person, the odd one out, that chose a different path to go to Dead by Daylight.
Did you go to Dead by Daylight instead?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So, obviously, I regret so many decisions. Like, that was, like, the lowest I've probably been in my life in career making decisions. And seeing everybody grow, you know, everybody literally grow and blow up is like, oh, my God, bro. Dead by Daylight is out here and it's not blowing up. What am I going to do? I can't go to COD Mobile. It's a bit too late now. You know what I mean? So miracles happen. I got given a name in the COD Mobile community, and here we are now. So what I'm excited now is pretty much to be part of it from the very beginning, and hopefully into the very end. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think probably for me the most exciting thing is one of the really cool things about COD Mobile is the way that it's been like bridging the gap between like the PC and console community and the mobile community. And I think Warzone Mobile has even more of a chance to do that just because of, number one, the popularity of Warzone, and number two, the popularity of Verdansk. And I think the timing of the way that everything is working for COD Mobile right now, and that it's like it's reaching its peak in its popularity amongst the PC and console community, because you have content creators like Tim the Tatman, Dismo, Marksman, all those guys that are actually legitimately like watching COD Mobile, playing COD Mobile, posting COD Mobile videos, which has never really happened for like non-sponsored content. Obviously, mobile games sponsor content creators all the time, but for them to just be like posting COD Mobile because they enjoy playing the game more than their PC and console counterpart is a huge game changer. And I think the introduction of Verdansk, especially if that, like, the only thing in my mind that could make Warzone Mobile not succeed is bad optimization. I think that's the one thing that could drive people away. So I'm hoping they do that really well. We talked to the developers, and they said that was priority number one. So hopefully there are going to be big jumps from the current version of Warzone Mobile that we have, because it's still not super well optimized. But that's definitely the one thing I'm most excited for.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I've got Red Magic 8 Pro. You've experienced it. One of the greatest phones. And Warzone Mobile doesn't actually run in the phone. It's like my whole screen is green, and then I've got the
Really?
Yeah, I've got an iPad 2020 Pro, which I wouldn't like to say it's the oldest iPad. It's somewhere in the middle, right? It's kind of a decent iPad, and my whole screen is white. I can't see anything. It's like a flashbang when I'm playing, you know. So both my devices are not optimized. Then I have an iPhone 10, so I'm not even gonna bother. You know what I mean? So I realistically, I just want to enjoy Warzone, but I can't because of the optimization on these devices. You know, they're really good devices. It's just the game needs its time to catch up. So that's another thing that's making me wonder: will the game kind of get a little bit postponed? Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe just a little bit, like a month or two, just to catch up on all these devices that are coming out. You know what I mean? Because Red Magic just came out, so it's gonna take a long time to optimize that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I know the Warzone / Modern Warfare 2 update for their Season 2 drops on February 15th. So I'm hoping we get a big update for Warzone Mobile at that point in time, because obviously all the content is cross-available and you want to be able to sell as much content as you can. So having mobile players that actually want to buy that as well would be a big W. And having the game available outside of just Australia, I mean, you can play it outside of Australia, but if you don't have good enough ping or whatever, you have to have a host in Australia. And it's just, especially for me, I haven't played Warzone Mobile any recently because I have to have somebody that can actually get me into lobbies because I can't get in the lobbies myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, I mean, it's just frustrating because I want to play the game. I want to make content around the game. And I know there's a lot of people that want to do that. Like, it's not just like little indie game that the mobile diehards want to hop on. Like, everybody wants to hop on there and create content. So I'm hopeful at the very least that they can do that, because also that gives you more information to gather on how it's being optimized, what devices it's crashing on, where you can improve. And I feel like the App Store, whatever, it says May 15th for the release date. If that's actually going to be when it ends up releasing, it feels like there's some pretty big jumps that need to be made. And I think more regions being added for the soft launch, regional launch, whatever you want to call it, is definitely going to be one of the next steps if that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You never know, man. It might release May 15th by all means. You know, they did give us a little sneak peek, but don't know how accurate that could be. But
yeah. I am curious because I thought that was gonna like change along the way, but it has stayed the same ever since it went into the iOS App Store. So a little bit unexpected, and maybe that is like hard set, even though they haven't announced it. I think that's the main reason that I don't think that it's the actual date, is because it hasn't been announced on official channels, and I don't think they want to announce it on official channels, because if they postpone it, then it's like, oh, you told us it was going to be this date, and then you have Apex Mobile situations all over again, where the entire community is mad at you because you announced one thing and then did a different thing. So.
Exactly, 100%, exactly. Perfect.
All right. Well, I think the other big name that people are looking forward to, one that you've shown a lot of interest in your content, especially, is Valorant Mobile. We did have a recent announcement, not really an announcement, but they said in an interview that things are moving a little bit more slowly than they may have expected. Apparently, Valorant is being developed for consoles as well.
Yes.
But if you had to guess, more than likely, the thing they'd be talking about is moving slower on mobile, since that is the newer platform to develop for.
Yes, exactly.
Are you more excited for Warzone Mobile or for Valorant Mobile?
I'm going to be honest, like, it's probably going to be Valorant, because I play it tons on PC. I played it when it first came out. I spent so much money on the game. I just genuinely, like, kind of fell in love with it. Even before Apex, you know, I genuinely love Valorant as a concept, because it was literally, like, brand new in a way, you know what I mean? So I just be the first person to hop in and have fun. It was just like something OG, and I just kind of hits a spot when I had to touch it every time, really. But Warzone, I'm gonna be there. Like, I'm gonna be on both games, really, because I think there's gonna be like a massive gap in between both releases. So I think everybody will be able to enjoy a bit of Warzone, a bit of Valorant, and then in the end they'll decide what they actually want to play. You know what I mean? With the delays and stuff, they were 100% talking about Valorant Mobile, even though console is releasing. I think, and I believe this is happening because developers have this inside info of when games actually release. So let's say Riot Games, you know, they were pretty much like not want to release the game at the same time as Warzone Mobile. So they'll obviously talk with Activision to make sure, you know, there's a little gap in between so everybody can enjoy their little hype moment. So that's what I think they try to do, is just like wait for Warzone to, you know, be the first game to come out, and then Valorant. That's what my opinion is. This is not official, you know, don't put this on articles. But I think that's what's happening. It's going to be releasing, in my personal prediction, in early 2024, but we will probably be getting a beta, you know, end of the 2023. I don't know. What is your speculation of when it could potentially release?
I would say, especially given them talking about it that way in regards to the development, I would say probably early 2024. There were people that got mad that I speculated that it would not release in 2023. I'm like, well, they're the ones that are saying it's going to take a long time, and there's no indication that it's going to be early 2023. Yep. So the fact that it's moving back a little bit, that kind of seems like the next common progression in where it would end up releasing. So I think that for mobile, the ceiling could potentially be higher for Valorant Mobile, primarily because of optimization. You don't have to do as much to optimize for Valorant's 5v5, right?
5v5, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do as much to optimize for 5v5 maps as you do for 120 player battle royale maps. There's not as many things that you have to render. It's not as heavy on the servers, and overall, I think they're going to find ways to also speed up the pace. I think that is one thing that Warzone Mobile has done a really good job of, is honing in on those blitz modes, because those are going to cater a lot better to the mobile audience that has the shorter attention spans. I think as far as content goes, it's probably still going to be the 120 player battle royale, but for people that just want to sit down and play a quick game, if you've got a 5-minute, 10-minute blitz mode, that makes it a lot more, I guess, kind of accessible to what the general attention span of mobile gamers is. So I'm curious to see what Valorant Mobile does. I hope they don't take the approach that Rainbow Six does, of just like cutting the number of rounds in half or whatever it is, and then you copy and paste it. And I don't think they're going to do that, because they did a really good job, Riot did, of developing League of Legends Mobile, aka Wild Rift. The way that they released that was also confusing, because I still don't know if Wild Rift... Do you know if Wild Rift is in global launch?
No, that's the same thing that relates to Dead by Daylight. Like, how are all these games still in the beta and soft launch? It just makes no sense. Like, that's the one confusion that I think everybody has, is that Wild Rift is still not globally launched. And, like, they've spent so much money in esports, they've invested in some content creators, and somehow it's still, you know, nowhere near global. There's no release dates or anything. So, 100%.
Yeah, it's I still don't know, and maybe somebody in the comments will know whether or not Wild Rift is globally launched. I actually loved Wild Rift for a little bit. I was addicted to it for like a summer or something, and I enjoyed it a lot because I'd never really played League of Legends. So I based on that, I have an expectation that Valorant Mobile will be well made, but mechanically it is going to work a lot differently. I think developing shooters in a competitive way does take a lot more time than developing something like a MOBA, just because of how much precision is required in the way that everything operates. But I think the ceiling's going to be high for Valorant Mobile. I'm not sure if video content is going to be the wave for that. I think there will be video content that does well, but I think streaming is going to be like the go-to, just because that's the way that Valorant is on PC as well.
100%. Like, that's one of the reasons kind of why I'm thinking of like sticking to both Warzone and Valorant when they both come out, because Valorant will be good stream content, and then Warzone will be practically, you could say everything, right? You could practically say that, so it gives you the whole package. But yeah, I believe they have been delaying Valorant Mobile to make it perfect, so there's no complaints, you know. And another thing that I would love to mention is that Valorant Mobile is the only game that has still got 0 leaks. The only leaks that they have is footage from a private test that was leaked by an actual player. There's like no in-game files to be given to the public. There's no kind of dates or codes. Like, nothing is out there for the public. I just, you know, it's a bit confusing why such a big company hasn't, you know, experienced it yet. So I don't know. I genuinely do not have a release date, do not have any kind of intel, and you probably assume so based off my videos, but you know, I'm just, you know, doing what everybody else is told. So that's that.
Yep, I think those are the two games with the highest expectations. I think, like you mentioned, the big thing about Warzone Mobile is it does have that potential to be like the whole package for content creators, because that's what Warzone 1 was.
Yeah.
I think Warzone Mobile, because it does have the Warzone or Modern Warfare 2 movement, is also going to cater more toward casuals. Now, that is going to make it probably tougher to make content if you want like aggressive gameplay or whatever it is. But I think that there's a balance to be had. And like you said, there is really good video content opportunities because you have things like loadouts. I think loadouts are one of the best things that make Call of Duty just so great for content, because there's so much versatility combined with the number of weapons and different combinations that you can make. So that's really fun. Obviously, streaming is going to be a blast as well. And I think that's one thing, like, ever since Rules of Survival, people have been waiting on, like, I want that game that I just want to sit down with my squad and play for like 9 hours straight. Because we got COD Mobile Battle Royale, but I don't know. It just never had that feel for me. Maybe it was the number of bots. I think it was the number of bots.
It's the bots, 100%. And that's another thing about Warzone. Like, there's no bots. And
no bots, but very few bots.
Yeah. I mean, you could say it no bots just to make Warzone look better, you know what I mean? But what about proximity chat? What do you think of that? Will they add it maybe? You know, that'll make it so much fun. What do we say?
I think that they should. I mean, you've got it. I didn't not realize, but I always forget COD Mobile has proximity chat.
Yeah.
And that's really something that I should like use like to make content on, especially when I do custom lobbies. But you got that in Modern Warfare 2 as well. I don't see any reason that you wouldn't have proximity chat, because that does make for a lot of great content as well as far as Warzone 2. Because even though there's not a lot of people that love Warzone 2 right now, everybody loves proximity chat. So I can't think of any reason why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby, you need to turn that feature on. Like, when I do customs, everybody's mics are on. It's chaos. It's so much fun.
I'm just worried somebody's gonna say something and I'm gonna have to take the stream down. And
well,
I don't know. We'll see.
There's always that one, but you know,
Yep.
We'll see, man. What happens in Warzone? But yeah, that's that, I guess, for both games.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap things up for the podcast. Any final words for the fans out there?
I don't really have anything. I don't know. I don't have anything. No, I'm just excited to be here because it's my first podcast, so I'm a bit nervous with my words. I probably do at the back of my mind, obviously, but I'm just excited for the future of mobile gaming. You know, I think Warzone Mobile is gonna, like Bobby said, bridge the gap between PC and mobile, and once and for all, we will have a game that will officially, you know, link both sides. And you know, I'm just excited for that, mainly on Warzone Mobile, and I think that's what I can take out of it, this whole podcast, is that you kind of made the key point about bridging the communities. I'm really excited to just have a big, massive community. So Warzone Mobile is going to be really good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. If you guys are listening or watching this podcast around the time that Warzone Mobile releases, you can head on over to Sonho's channel because he will be streaming 24/7. So you can check out the content over there. But that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out Sonho's socials down in the description down below. And that's going to be it for this one.
Thank you. See you later, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.